Okay, so this is the trade execution application which I built with the help of ChatGPT. This one is from ClaudeAI tool, and this one is from the DeepSeek one, right? I haven't coded anything. All I did is just ask three simple questions to DeepSeekR1, ClaudeAI, and the ChatGPT, and I just got these working code with me, right? But just a disclaimer, these code are not something which is utilizing any external dependency. This is completely written in Python, and it is designed in a way so that we can easily run in a local, right? So this is the capabilities we are, dealing with these AI platforms. So my name is Abhishek Jain. Let's get into the detail how you can build these kind of code without knowing anything on any of the programming language, and how you can utilize the capabilities and the intelligence of these tools to architect, the trade execution app. I have already published one video where I just gave the overview like how you can architect. But in this video, we're gonna do a little bit of deep diving, because now we have a working code which we can use to, to have a further discussion, or to communicate to our respective teams, like what precisely we want system to do for us, right? So let me just stop this. Okay, so if you haven't watched my previous video where I explain, how to architect any system for the trade execution, you can watch this video. You can get the link on top right. So if you remember, for ChatGPT, this is the response which we got it, right? For high level design. So what I did is I just tried to extract, all the responses based on the questions which I created, to architect. So I created a 10 questions, and you can see the 10 different responses which I collected, right? And if you want to see the questions which I have asked, these are the simple 10 questions which I have asked. And these 10 simple questions, cover all the aspects of, to architect any system, right? Then what I did is I thought that rather than creating all those questions by myself, because it may happen that I'm not able to think everything, right? There are a lot of information available, and one human being cannot, recall or remember everything, and one person cannot know everything, right? You just know what you have observed and what you have experienced so far and what you have worked upon, right? So what I thought is just ask the same question, like what kind of question I should ask to these artificial intelligence platforms so that I can architect the more optimized, efficient, and effective system. And you will be shocked when I ask this question to the ClaudeAI. This is what I got, right? So now it provided me all the categories and what kind of question I should ask. So, I got for the system components, these are the precise areas on which I should ask the questions, right? So for example, in system components, right? Service communication, how the service communication going to happen, right? Data storage, caching, how caching is going to happen. Message queues, how the messages are going to be queued. Authentication and authorization, how the authentication and authorization should happen, right? So I have to ask all these questions, and then it is suggesting, we should ask how we can integrate all these components, right? So that it can work to accomplish our end-to-end processing, right? The next thing, performance and scalability, very precise thing, right? It is, if it is not very precise, even you are getting a pointer on which you can just think, do a brainstorming with your team and create your question. You don't have to recall, you don't have to document anything, you don't have to get into the multiple discussion in the brainstorming session. All you need to do is to just frame the proper questions around these categories. Then the reliability and the fault tolerance, security related stuff, development support, if you just see architecture diagram, boilerplate code, right, for complex distributed system components, suggest design pattern and practices, code reviews and all those things, design pattern and the frameworks, then data architecture, and then the integration architecture, right? So if you just see all these areas, all these categories from the broader perspective, that gives you enough information like how you should think to design any kind of system. I'm not talking about just a trade execution. Just think of your use case and try to put your use case in all these categories, frame your question and ask that to the artificial intelligence, right? So we got the code, we got all the categories, on which we should ask the question, and we got a precise pointer or very high level pointer, like what all areas to be covered while we will be asking a question. So if you ask a proper question with the proper context for all these things, right, which is not gonna take more than an hour for you, right? And then you can just collate the responses and just create your, you can just create your system, right? Entire system, theoretically. Okay. So it also have AI tools as well, right? That's pretty much it from like how you can architect by using the capabilities of these AI tools, right? The next thing is, what I asked is how to frame our questions. So now we know what all categories we have under which we have to ask a precise question. We got the sense like what kind of question we need to ask, but what kind of additional information we have to put together and what kind of context we have to align to that question so that we can get the maximum output or maximum the maximum potential of these tools, right? So we have to be very specific and clear, right? The next thing, which is we all know all these kind of things, right? Break down complex problem. But what happens, I always observe that whosoever is new to this AI tools, right? What they do is they don't give the context, right? They just come and just write one or two liner and expect that, they are going to get the best response from those AI tools. We have to first acknowledge that, right? These tools are not able to think like human things, right? They are machine and they have a lot of data on which they are trained on, which one human cannot done, right? Even the entire population of our earth cannot understand the entire information which we have available today, right? So we need, I don't know how many human beings, we need who can remember all those things and just give one interface through which we can extract all the information, right? But try to put examples, ask for the best practices, request comparison, and then ask for the step-by-step guidance, validate assumptions, ask for a code example, which I did today. And I was really surprised, in just few seconds, I was having all those applications working. See, this one is continuously, interacting with the market data. This one, if you just see what it is doing, right? It's trying to mimic the entire flow, right? It's kind of a very high level thing which you can just showcase to your development team and see this is precisely what you want for use case number one, where order is actually being placed correctly or not, right? So see all the trading client info, placing new order, processing a new order, validating an order, performing risk check passed, executing market order, getting market price, current BTC USD price, trade executed, and then the final report. See, awesome, right? So you have to be very, very precise, and you have to follow this guideline, right? Like, what all things you should be considering when you will be framing your questions, right? Explore edge cases, right? Edge cases is again very interesting thing. We know all these kind of stuff, but whenever it comes to utilize them in real time, we always keep forgetting all those kind of stuff, right? Request optimization tapes, ask for a learning resources, iterate and refinement, and then proper terminologies, combine questions, ask for trade-offs, ask for the real world examples, that's another important thing. Ask for tool recommendations, ask for future proofing advices, be polite and patient. And, if we just keep following all these things, right? So these are the questions, which we have got it, like basically. So we covered the entire flow. We have a categories, what all categories we need to consider when we will be architecting any system. Then we have a precise area, like what all areas on which we need to ask precise question, and what kind of information we have to provide around our question with the proper context and all those things. If you just keep all those things in mind, believe me, in just few minutes, less than an hour, you will be able to architect the complex system, or whatever kind of application you are building. You should be able to do that, right? Because when I and if you just see the line of codes, right? I hope you can see my project pane, right? Here, if you just see, these are the four different system which I created. Yeah, this one is the very low complex. It doesn't have so much flexibility. Then I requested ChatGPT, okay, can you just make it a little bit more complicated? And then it does, right? So if I started. Okay, risk management, all those kind of stuff. Looks good. All that stuff. See, it's keep throwing me the all the codes and everything, right? Same thing I asked ClaudeAI, right? And if I just show you the hierarchy in which I asked all those questions, okay. Could you please elaborate one example, like how to ask question? Oh, not this one. Yeah, I think I just asked this question at the end, right? So if you just see, if you could provide the working code in Python with hard-coded methods to depict end-to-end workflow, that would be really helpful. Please let me know how to run them locally, right? See, it's gave me this program. When I run it, it's working fine, right? And I just tagged this as a low, and which one is Claude one, right? So let me just get inside that. Okay. So Claude AI system, this one is high. So I started with low. See, it works, and it just gave the very high level thing, but that was not very elaborative. So what I did is I went back to the cloud and says, okay, very simple thing. Could you please add more complexity with more closer print message to mimic the real-time processing with all component? Please make sure to run locally without any additional. Right. See, earlier, if you just let me just give you this some slides there. Basic trade, right? Okay, so if I come back here, right, this one is from the code one. So let's start with the lower. This is the lowest, the very first response I got, just have a 115 line, and this is what it does, right? Now, what I did is I requested him to just add some more feature, See, now we got some more thing added, right? Some more logic added, some more print messages added, which is more elaborative now, right? Straight client exchange, risk related stuff, price engine and all those kind of stuff, right? Then I requested further. Can you just make it a little bit more complicated? Just add some more scenarios, like, I mean, in which scenario it's going to fail, in which scenario it's going to successful. Please add more orders with all possible failures, right? Then it says that what all additional thing it has added, right? So it's keep telling what all things we are adding. So right, the previous one was having a very simple one, and then I asked, okay, can you just elaborate a little bit more, add some more complexity? Then it's added a detail logging, risk management, price engine, order matching logic, order status tracking, trade execution, realistic processing delays, and all those stuff. Pretty impressive, right? And then I requested it to add some more failure cases as well. Then it's added some more order types, validation scenario, error handling, partial fills, system errors, status tracking, detailed reporting. See, I didn't know all these kind of stuff, right? All I did is ask a very simple 3 questions, and I am able to just get as much as information I can, and I have a working code as well with me, right? So if I just run the high one from, see, and now at the end, you will see it's keep updating the market data, which is really awesome. So this is not being stopped now. And it's keep updating information. Not here, I think that is in, yeah, that is in DeepSeek. That is not provided by Claude. But we can ask Claude as well. I mean, if we want any kind of additional thing which we feel that, okay, that is not yet added. So let's review for the DeepSeek one, what kind of response it's provided to me, right? So if I just go to the DeepSeek one, right, and let's just get it to the very first thing, right? Same question what I asked to ChatGPT and Claude, right? It says that, okay, this is the simple code, order book, order matching, trade execution, and the logging, right? It's gave you all the details, right? Then again, I asked the same question. Can you add a little bit of more complexity? Okay, now you can see order book, order matching, trade execution, market data simulators got added, and trade logger and the order manager, right? So it added a little bit of complexity, right? You can see what all additional thing it has added, right? Explanation, detailed logging, and all those limitation and announcements, right? And then again, I again asked, could you please add a little bit more? See, it's added some more thing, right? Order failure, order modification, order cancellation, and detailed logging, right? And then at the end, we have a market simulation, market data simulation as well, right? So you can just read through all those things, right? Now, if you want to make it more complicated, so for example, if your Droid, required some specific kind of processing, which is very, very specific, right? You can request, these tools and ask them, okay, this is the code which you have provided to me, and I want you to add some more complexity around this feature. And you can just give the flow of that particular feature, and then it will just, create some more code for you. Let me ask something very simple. Could you please add more realistic failure and how to correct those failures to code itself in let me thank you for marketing code corrected, but I want you to improvements with more realistic values. Let's see what happens. And same question I can ask to ClaudeAI, right? See what it does. See, it's added a circuit breaker design pattern for us. I didn't ask that. How it's happening in the ClaudeAI. This is happening on DeepSeekR1. Realistic failure, order timeout may happen, insufficient fonts, market price deviation, duplicate order IDs. We were not aware of all these things. And what could be the corrective mechanism? Retry order, order replacement, and error recovery, right? Awesome, right? Let's see, because I'm 100% sure ChatGPT is not at par, based on what I have observed so far. Like, seems like still it is not able to update anything. So ChatGPT is something which is not that great when it comes to building the code and all this stuff. It seems like Cloud AI is really, really awesome, right? See what all things it has added: circuit breaker system, retry mechanism, market maker, smart ordering routing, FOKIC orders, slippage protection. I don't know what is this, right? I can ask this. What is right? We can ask this, and in the meantime, we can copy this code. Complexity from Claude. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new. Copy this, run it and see what kind of error we are getting in, and then some I'll have in DeepSeek. So says that this is the error. Let's share this with ClaudeAI and see if it is fixed. No, it's- right. So what I have to do is I have to copy this and I have to come here. This is where you precisely need, a little bit of coding experience, right? So not defined. Now I'm getting this error. So it seems like I'm out of, messages. Subscribe to Pro, so probably I need to, upgrade my plan. But this is how you can keep requesting what additional thing you need, right? So in the meantime, we got this new code from DeepSeek. So let's try this. So, but I will just have that fix probably in the next video. I will just try to work on that. Okay, so it's this one. Let's see. Seems like it's failing with insufficient funds, submitting market data, So it seems like the only problem which we are facing now is with the highest complexity for the Claude AI based code, but that is again very simple, right? All errors which I'm getting, I need to just copy and paste that. And Claude AI is going to fix that for me. So it's really awesome, right? So in this video, we have covered how we can get the working code. It's a very high level code which you can utilize just to convey to the respective stakeholder, like this is how the flow would look like. You don't need to do a lot of explanation because once code runs, it just print out all the messages. Then you can just explain the flow that this is how it should happen. You can also review it, and wherever you find that, okay, there is a problem with that, you can fix that. And if you want to do it by yourself, it's good. Otherwise, you can ask, any of these AI tools, or you can build your own code assistant, which I have already explained in other videos. And you can keep asking those questions and see, which tool is, fulfilling your need, right? And based on that, you can decide which one to go for, right? So now I would suggest whatever the categories I have explained to you, I will provide those questions, and the guidance like how you should design your questions, so that you can get a more appropriate, more optimized responses from these AI tools. And then at the end, you have to combine all of them, right? Maybe one tool would be good in one thing, other tool would be good in another thing, right? So we saw that Claude AI is very good in doing a coding. DeepSeekR1 is far better. You have to just, keep comparing. You have to play with all these codes, all the information, all the responses you are getting, collate them, reconcile them, have a brainstorming and just, come up with a more innovative, creative, effective, and efficient architecture for your system. So that's it. That's it from my side for this video. And as always, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning on new things.